Well, hello, parishioners. Welcome to our very first Rectory Ramble. These are going to be a little bit different from the chapel chats, maybe a little less formal, perhaps a little less spiritual at times.
A lot less formal.
The idea is that we just want to have a conversation. You know, a lot of us are still cooped up at home, and this is pretty much all we have, this online connection. So we're going to let people submit questions or topics they'd like us to talk about. You can look at the link in the description below the video to access that. And some of the topics might be a little more serious. Some of them might be a little more lighthearted. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe we might adjust things as we go along, but we hope you enjoy.
We certainly do not intend to ramble a lot, but if we do ramble, it's okay because this is called Rectory Ramble. Welcome to the first edition of Rectory Ramble, where you simply hear us ramble about stuff. I want to have a couple introductions real quick. So first we have Kevin Hufnagel, who's a seminarian for our diocese.
I don't think you're saying his name.
That's right.
Hufnagel?
Well, Hufnagel is the Americanized version, but Hufnagel is proper, and I appreciate that.
I stand corrected.
Germanic.
All right, well, that's Kevin, and then Christian Solana as well from Christ the King. So how about you guys introduce yourselves and tell us kind of who you are?
Sure. Once again, my name's Christian, originally from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Grew up there, attending Spiritus Sanctus Academy, and then later Gilbert Richard. So I've always been in the area, just south of Brighton. Before seminary, I was an aviation technician working out in Kalamazoo and Battle Creek, working on airplanes, private and corporate jets, and now I'm actually in my first year of seminary at Sacred Heart as a pre-theologian.
So you can fix our cars while you're here.
I can attempt to.
Our cars don't fly.
With the help.
I mean, I'd like to
yours
think
fly?
my truck is a jet plane. There you go. It's basically the same.
That's great. So Kevin,
And
Kevin,
I'm
is that how you say it? Okay, just making sure.
Kevin, yeah. Irish. Yeah, so I'm Kevin. I am from Ann Arbor as well. I also went to Spiritus Sanctus Academy, and I also went to Gilbert Richard. I am in my first year of theology at Sacred Heart, so this is also my first year at Sacred Heart along with Christian. I did 4 years of college seminary before I went to Sacred Heart, so I was out in Minnesota at St. John Vianney College Seminary, which is an amazing seminary. Minnesota, not as good as Michigan, but you know what? We'll take what we can.
So what's it like? You guys are no longer in the seminary, right? They asked
Right.
all the seminarians to leave. What's it like living here at St. Pat's in the Rectory?
Well, it's definitely been a big transition for sure. Having like a very rigid schedule to really coming here and trying to live a seminary lifestyle, but you have to develop your own schedule and work with the priests here, which have been great. But yeah, you have to really work on your own schedule and be very, I guess, what's the word? Self-dependent on your own schedule, making sure you get it done. So it's been a little bit of a challenge at first, but I think we're finally starting to get the click of it.
So you think we're not as strict as the seminary formators?
In some situations, and with your cooking rules, yes. You're
Wow.
just as strict.
Wow.
Just don't
that's
mess up
right.
with my cast iron pan. That's my only rule.
That's right. That's right. What about you, Kevin?
Well, I guess for me, the two biggest differences, one's a little smaller but still awesome, is I'm sleeping literally 15 feet away from Jesus in the Eucharist, and so I can roll out of bed in the morning and groggily walk my way down the hall.
He walks
I've
in a
seen
groggle
it.
manner.
It's
That's
very
exactly right.
groggly.
Groggly.
Groggily, yes. And I can just sit down and pray with Jesus within 30 seconds of having woken up, which is awesome because normally at seminary I had to walk down 3 flights of stairs and it was a whole lot of work. So easier to get to the chapel. Which,
At least he was still in the building.
Yeah.
Most people have to drive somewhere
This
to
is
get
true.
to Jesus. The problems that seminarians have to deal with. They had to walk down 3 flights of steps to get to a chapel.
And now people can't even be with Jesus because the churches are locked. Well, at least
I
a lot
know.
of them are. So
I mean, all joking aside, it really is.
yeah.
It's
a big blessing.
It's rough, and we're privileged that we still get to have Jesus in the house.
So what's your favorite part about seminary?
It would definitely be the fraternity and the brotherhood you experience with all the other seminarians. It's one of the, in the scripture it says, as one man it's iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another, right? And within seminary, you form these really tight friendships, right? Where your friendship is always based on what you share. And so your friendship can be something shallow, where it's only a friendship based on sports or a common hobby. With seminary, it's something of infinite value. It's God. And so you have this relationship that's totally founded in something that's everlasting and pure, and it's the highest level of beauty. And so you can have these really deep friendships that go incredibly deep, and then they actually help to form you as a person. So all your brothers, you not only have fun with them and enjoy the relationship, but you're also constantly growing because they're reinforcing you in your faith, and that's amazing.
Very good. What about you, Christian?
So, I mean, yeah, fraternity is a great aspect of it, because especially for me, working third shifts prior to this, being by yourself a lot, working on airplanes, it was really difficult to really choose to live out your faith on your own. So having brothers is amazing, to help you and encourage you, to help grow closer to Christ through that. But also daily mass is such a blessing at seminary. Being able to spend especially 1 hour a day in prayer with him in front of the Eucharist is just incredible. It's amazing to see, just that prayer time, being able to see how your life is being transformed each and every day through it. You might not realize it, but then you look back and it's like, wow, look at how much Christ has changed in my life. So that's been an amazing aspect of seminary for me.
That's great. That's
And
great.
the whole fraternity side of it is definitely what I miss most about seminary. I don't miss the school, and I don't miss a lot of the kind of stringent rules and all that, but
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to wear that shirt in the seminary. There's no
Nope.
way. It's got way too many buttons. It looks way too foreign. In any way, that would be banned.
I actually had a hoodie that I wore for years. It was black, but it had a North Dakota thing on it, and it was given to me by my brother who lives out there. And I found out later that it was sort of like, apparently that was kind of against the rules. I didn't even know it. But
I wouldn't even let you wear that here if you were it'd be against the rules. Maybe I'll have to tighten up the rules at the rectory or something.
yeah.
Make it seem
Otherwise,
a
these
little more
guys
like
are
home.
they're gonna call us in and be like, listen, this Father Matthias, he's not a good for me. We're gonna need to go back.
There's a reason why I left the seminary. So, what's it like being a seminarian? This is a serious question. What is it like being a seminarian today in this world that we live in right now? Both culturally, but also with this virus situation. What's it like being a seminarian?
I guess, with the coronavirus specifically, or just in
Just in general
Just in
culture,
general.
but if you want to mention what's
Yeah.
it like being a seminary now.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, it's got to be, very intentional about living a seminarian lifestyle outside of seminary, because it is easy to, no one's there your brothers aren't there to keep you accountable of keeping up with your tasks. But I guess in today's culture, where, there's so much, people have their own beliefs. Relativism is very much at large, and so it's just it can be a little bit difficult. But there's also very much there's a lot of graces that come with it, because you're being a witness to Christ for for the church and what you're still young people deciding to live their life for Christ. So there's that the grace that comes with it, and you're sort of, even I feel like there's no way I should be doing this, but somehow God's given me the graces to be able to do this and say yes to seminary and discern whether I'm supposed to be a priest. So yeah, there's just it's a really good blessing, really great blessing to be a witness for Christ, because I love Christ, I love the church, and I'm discerning whether I want to give my life to it fully. And so yeah, it's a huge blessing.
How many times do you have to explain to people what a seminarian is, and they give you funny looks?
Quite a bit. When I was telling everybody at my work what I'm going to be a seminarian, they just didn't really know what that was. Nobody I really worked with was Catholic, so being able to explain, yep, I'm going to discern to be a priest, so discerning celibate life, and everybody would just look at me like I'm crazy. So yeah, explaining that, but it was just one thing that I found really amazing was people, not even Christians, were just like, wow, that sounds really challenging, but they sort of were awestruck by it, because they never heard of it before, and so it was really cool to see that.
I think sort of on just a basic human level, most people, even if they're not religious at all, they can still appreciate the significance of someone giving their life
That's right.
in service for the greater good, whether that's, as a, I don't know, as a doctor or even in some other religion, but certainly people generally still get it. They're like, okay, like you're trying to do something good for the sake of others, and what a good thing to do, even if they don't fully understand it.
That's right. So Kevin, what about you? What's it like being a seminarian today, in today's culture and in today's world?
Well, I guess I'd say the perspective it gives you on the culture, because with the seminary is very much it's its own micro culture, right? Where you're very much invested in this culture that's intensely Catholic, incredibly formed in prayer, all these friendships, all these academics that are all focused on Christ. And so it's almost like a little taste of heaven, a little subculture of experiencing what heaven is. And when you go out into the world, whether you're doing ministry, like I go out to the hospital to do ministry there, or whether I'm going home and spending time with friends who are more immersed in the culture, you really you see with a much greater clarity some of the privations or the lack that our culture has, where you can see that a lot, like I come back and I'll see other people's friendships and I realize a lot of the times there isn't a depth to their relationships because there isn't a sense of a spiritual foundation, or at least a Christian identity of self-sacrifice in the relationship. And being in seminary, it gives you that look into the culture, and you're able to see where the need is, where there's the need for Christ's love to enter into the aspects of friendship, into consumption of media, right? So many people just binge watch Netflix shows and don't actually take time to receive what they're watching and actually to bring it to prayer, to use it to further their relationship with Christ, and to not just mindlessly consume it. So it definitely gives you a clarity of perception in the culture.
Speaking of binge watching Netflix, do you guys have any favorite TV shows or movies?
I mean, The Office is always a classic for me. I mean, I could always watch that show no matter what. So.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I have two modes of being. Either
Modes of being.
Okay.
You sound like a seminarian.
Do you have a degree in philosophy, perchance?
I have a
I'm just
degree in
joking. I'm just
philosophy.
joking.
All seminarians get a degree in philosophy, in case you're.
He doesn't have two modes of being either.
Anyways.
in regards to shows and movies, I either like dumb funny shows, so The Office or Parks and Rec, anything that you can kind of just shut the mind off and just appreciate the ridiculousness of the situations, or I like very intricate, involved films, so there's a lot of symbolism, a lot of depth to them. So like Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life, really good. Unbreakable with Bruce Willis by M. Night Shyamalan. I love that movie.
What about Inception?
I haven't seen Inception in a long time, and I need to rewatch it. I'm hoping we can watch it here at the Rectory at some point, so we can have a little.
We've got to start our Rectory watch list. For
Yeah, you need to do 3 holy hours per movie you watch. I'm not going to let you have too many movies. It wouldn't be good for you. So, as we wrap this to a close, who are the coolest priests in the diocese? Just throw it out there.
Bishop Earl Boyer.
Bishop actually, I think, is watching right now. Isn't that right? Bishop, if Bishop is watching right now, which I think he is, what do you want him to know right now?
Bishop, I wish I could have lunch with you, because I know that Corin Bilodeau, another seminarian from Lansing, is able to have that honor staying at the Cathedral Rectory, and I wish that I could participate in that, because I would love to spend more time with you. But as I cannot, this will be the time we spend together. Is your seeing me.
If you have an extra room, we will give you Kevin.
Take me.
Who are the
Just
coolest priests right now
the coolest priest.
in the diocese?
It might be a homer here, but I think I'm going to say, I'm sorry, but Father Ed Freedy.
Oh, totally. No, I mean, seriously, Father Ed is very cool. What makes him cool in your book?
Okay, well, I mean, he's always been a great spiritual father, just one of the best, but I mean, he knows so many languages, like studying Hebrew and Greek, but then he's also a Trekkie, so he's like a sci-fi guy, but then he knows martial arts, and he drives a Harley.
I mean, seriously, we couldn't even come close to that. I mean, he's on a cool factor. He's way up here. We're way down here. And,
well, speak for yourself.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I guess I will. You're much cooler than I thought. But anyway, this has been our first edition of Rectory Ramble. Hopefully you will join us for our next session. By the way, if you want us to discuss something or to answer any of your questions, please click on the link below in the description. We're going to put that in the bloopers, all right.
You're going to scandalize the
Guess
Christians.
which one?
I can't even keep a straight face. All right.
So what are we doing here today, Father?
Wait, this isn't live,
Oh, okay.
right?
How are we live?
No. Are you recording?
Yeah, it's recording.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You cannot be the host if you
sorry.
can't get your...
Ramble.
It'll make good bloopers.
If we only had that much editing. Okay, so this is gonna be bad. All right. Welcome to our first edition of Rectory Rambling. Rectory Ramble. I don't even know what we're calling this, but this is where we're getting together at the rectory to talk about. Don't laugh. All right, we got to start over. Take 2.
It's okay if we laugh.
I know. Okay, here we go.
It's natural.